Alright, so my final project, I'm going to do a video answering the questions we had. So the first question is, what are my meaningful identities? My meaningful identities are a Latina, a woman, a Mexican American, and a Catholic. These identities are all very important to me as they make me who I am. Without one of these identities, I would be a completely different person, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. Each of these identities build on the other to create each of us into the person we are, and without them, we're going to be a completely different person. So then moving on to the second question is, what is my meaningful roles? My meaningful roles would be right now a daughter, sister, friend, and a student. And it's kind of hard to answer this as I fill different roles in different communities that I'm in. Sometimes I'm a friend, but then when I'm just with my mom, I'm just a daughter. So these roles are important to me as they are what I choose to be and what roles I choose to fill. Like, I choose to be a woman in STEM, and I choose to be a woman studying engineering and a student. They don't make me who I am, in my opinion, because without these roles, I'm still going to be the person I am. I'm still going to be the person with all these identities and who's gone through all these things. My identities and my struggles make me who I am, and my roles are just what I fulfill as the person who I've become. The third question is my leadership philosophy in one sentence. So my philosophy would be to judge individuals by what I have seen and to treat everyone fairly. I want to judge people by what I've seen, not by what I've heard of people or by what people assume about them just because of their race or gender or sex or anything like that. From this class, I've learned that it isn't always just an individual's fault with certain problems that create them to look bad. There are other levels to look at it. We learned about the levels of analysis where we look at it from the individual, social, and institutional levels. And when you see a problem, hear these issues about people when you're a leader, you don't want to just assume that this is it and make these assumptions about these people and judge them by what you've heard. You should look at it. In my opinion, this is what I like to do. I like to look at it at the other levels of analysis so that I'm not just judging on the individual level, but I also will look at the social level and the institutional level that went into creating this problem and creating this person to look bad before any blame or any ill treatment is put forth. So the fourth question is, how is my leadership intersectional? My leadership is intersectional as I don't choose to work to open the door and to help other people from one group. Before this class, I thought of how I could only help women who are multicultural, especially Latinas, as I am a Latina myself, and I wanted to help these women to see that there are other role models out there, because a lot of times the Latina women are like, they don't have a lot of drive, and they don't see a lot of other Latina women as role models. But after this class, I realized I can't just focus on these women. There are women out there who are also suffering, like women in the LGBT community who have oppressed. There are other women, other races such as Muslim or Black who are also suffering and also not having the door open, not having them be able to have these opportunities because of their race. And so as an intersectional leader, my goal is to open the door so everyone gets this chance. I don't think this chance should be solely for those who get up there. I think we should make it open so that every person has this chance to shine. The next question is what the role I play in the changing ecosystem, in the map of our ecosystems. The problem with this is my role is always changing. I will change my role to whatever needs to be filled, or it depends on what ecosystem I'm in. But the most abundant role that I constantly fill is the role of caregiver. I always look to make sure others are okay and doing all right. And while this isn't my only role, I think it's my most important as it's a part of who I am. Like, I've always been a caregiver from when I was little to now. I always make sure everyone is getting fair treatment and everyone is getting to be okay and getting to do the best that they can. The next question I got was, how do I enjoy social privilege? This was kind of hard for me to answer because I am a Latina woman and women often struggle in STEM, but then I thought about it and I do enjoy social privilege not only by looking white with my fair skin, but because I am a straight woman. As a straight person, I do not have to face the challenges of LGBT community individuals. I've never had to worry about my rights or how I will be treated if anyone found out. I don't have to deal with the fear of losing my job due to my sex. And this class has taught me to look at things by other perspectives and not just by the ones that I knew about beforehand. It's taught me to look at beyond what I know. The next question is how I demonstrate allyship with my leadership. And I demonstrate allyship because although I don't belong to the LGBT community or I'm not Muslim or Black, I work so that these people can also have the same opportunities as I have. Although with my allyship leadership, I try to not overstep my boundaries. I learned a very important thing in this class as to don't do for others what they can do for themselves. As an ally, I don't want to say something or do something that would be more important if it was said by a person from that group. I don't want to speak about a problem that I don't have any reference to. I would like to help them, but without overstepping my boundaries where they can do it themselves, and it would be more important if they did it. Next question is my style of innovation. Mine is modifying. I like to take what is already there and change it so it looks better. As an engineer and as who I am, I like to fix something. I don't want to abandon something and have it lose hope. I'd rather fix it and make it into something better and more fruitful than it was before. The next question is an important one, as it was how I would respond to resistance of equity efforts. Equity is very important to me, as it is why I am at Iowa State with the MVP. But a problem I learned is that equity isn't always fair to everyone. There are people who are white and look like they are well off, but struggle due to equity. These people have, on paper, they look perfect and look like they should be well off and be able to go to college with their parents paying for them. After this class and instance I had, I found out that that is not always true, as these people still have the struggles that I don't know, and they still have to face problems. So my response to resistance would be to try and talk to them and show them the equity side, but I'd also want to help them so they have opportunities too, not just me helping individuals who apply to myself. The next question is how would I rate myself at my equitable leadership? I would rate myself as I can explain equitable leadership to someone who has never heard of it, and the concept, and feel confident about that my leadership adheres to equitable principles. I don't think I'm an expert about equitable leadership, but for this class I've learned to open and be fair to everyone and to not judge people by what they have shown me, but to judge people by what they've shown me, not by what I've heard or the assumptions that have been made about their race or class often. The next question is my level of understanding for race, ethnic, and social identities. This would be intermediate, as I understand how identities and others have these identities and make them for who they are, but these identities aren't always easy for me to understand, as I don't relate to a lot of identities. The last question is my knowledge of intersectionality. For this, I think I'm at expert level because intersectionality is very important to me, as it is my goal as a leader to help all groups, not just the ones that apply to myself, but the ones that are being missed in communities. I don't want to just work to help those who are often seen that need help, such as the Black community or LGBTQ community. I want to help those who are hidden within those communities. I want to make sure everyone is getting the same equal opportunities.